Hey everyone, welcome back to Urban Pro Wrestling. It is great to be with you guys on another UPW Radio episode, the press conference for Mason Walls, Nasir Santana. It's great to be with you, gentlemen. We'll kick it off with Nasir, who had a big victory last time out. Number one contender, bulletproof title. Now, as we know, Tristan Ty on business right now would not be able to make the show coming up. So title shot gets pushed back. Original opponent had also business to do, so match got pushed back. So it's been a couple of pushbacks. So how are you feeling now, finally having an opponent and having a match?
Uh, I'm excited right now. I was looking forward to facing, my previous opponent, but I get it, business calls. However, I've heard and seen a lot from Mason, so I'm very excited to be able to face him finally in a one-on-one.
Alrighty, and with that, Mason Walls, a late replacement, but still duty called, answer the call. Um, I know not too much time to prepare here, but how are you feeling going against your opponent, your future opponent?
Well, how I feel about it, I'm very excited. I've had the pleasure of beating Nasir before, and we've been in the same circles within Florida. From time to time, I come down there to help with the charity event called the Love Alive charity by my brother, the Pope, Elijah Burke. So we're down there every year, and I got a chance to, be within the same circle as Nasir. He's very promising, very bright, kid listens, and I'm ready to go to war with him, see what's going on. Let's see which one is going to come out on top.
And speaking about constantly kind of coming down, you're an eight-time, I believe, tag team champion, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes,
So
sir.
they kind of when it comes to your pedigree, and since you guys are familiar with each other, they kind of puts you at an experience edge. Would you not agree?
I would say it does give me a little bit of an advantage, but since this is a one-on-one and not a tag team, it might prove that it can be just a little bit different, just a little bit. But the thing is, he still has to compete against hard work, against determination, against somebody that has an indomitable spirit. That's me. So that being said, might be a difference, but you never know what you're going to get on this outcome.
Now, with that, Nasir, your last victory, um, filled with controversy to say the least.
Just going to say that.
Yeah, filled with a lot of controversy. Should have potentially been overturned. Shouldn't even have been a pinfall. How has that affected your confidence looking back at the tape, realizing that even before that, the referee should have counted it? It should have not even qualified it as a pin attempt to begin with.
Um, I would say it didn't shake my confidence because I knew in that very moment, whether the referee was aware or not, I knew in that moment I still beat Xander fair and square for the 1, 2, 3. I myself aware of his foot being on the rope, but had I had knowledge, of course I would have sent him back in the ring. It's just those things happen. But like I said, I have no problem demonstrating why I have no reason to go over clean.
And speaking of that, calling for a rematch, Xander calling for a rematch. Are you willing to give it to him down the line?
Of course. Of course. One thing about me and one thing that I think a lot of people on the scene come to realize is that I'm a very fightful person. I'm always looking for a fight. I'm always ready to fight. Even if I faced you in the past, I'll always be willing to or open to face you in the future. I'm about growth. So if I face someone in the past, of course I want to face you in the future because I want you to push me to my limit.
And it's also interesting that you mentioned that because I look at this matchup and you guys have both of you gentlemen have very contrasting styles of wrestling. How do you kind of game plan for not necessarily facing someone who has a similar mindset as you, but maybe just an alteration of strategies?
Um, for me, I would say I study. I study, I study, I study. I study my opponent relentlessly. I study them day in and day out. And from that, I just adapt, my move sets around them. I have been known to be a hybrid fighter, adapting on the fly in every situation that I've been in.
And for Mason, what about you? Same question.
Well, for me, I train. I train as much as possible. I train all the time. I'm in the gym. I'm working out. I'm studying tape. I believe there's nothing that I can't do. As long as I continue my rotation on everything I do on this end, doesn't matter what opponent you put me in the ring with, we're going to go because there's always a road to go.
Yeah, this road, it's very interesting that you said it too, because with the trajectory for both of you guys, with Nazir being filled with a lot of, I'm gonna say doubt, but I said, but in the eyes of a lot of the audience too, a lot of questions. Can he do it? Can he actually win it clean? With his number one contendership right around the corner, it's one of those things. If you were to beat him, should that not make you the rightful number one contender?
That sounds perfect to me. But that also would be, I think, up to stipulation if that was even on the line. But I would say that me beating him would put me in his spot technically. So,
Nasir, any comments to that?
Just pondering off, what Mason said. If that was the case, that'd definitely push me to bring my A game a little bit harder. Like he said, I've been in the gym. I have film. I've been watching TV and film day in and day out, just getting ready to bring in the new year and just usher in and show everyone that I'm not the same hybrid that I was last year. As a hybrid, I feel like you have to adapt and grow. So with that being said, I've honed my skills. I've learned some new skills. I've learned some new techniques, as well as I've increased my endurance. I've pushed myself to the end all be all to the point where I was exhausted and couldn't physically move. So I know next year I'm definitely coming to clear house.
Now, going to your guys' strengths, especially, what is one specific advantage that you think that you have over Mason?
The one advantage that I would say that I have over Mason is the fact that I'm always trying to outdo myself. And with the help of my fantastic coach, Showtime JB Cool, he always pushes the envelope for me to think outside the box and be a better fighter.
And Mason, same question. What do you think?
well, for me, I wouldn't say that I have any advantage over him. We've never been in the ring together, so I wouldn't know. The only thing that I can say is that I bring 110% every time I'm in a match. So it's more so about who's going to outdo who's going to be willing to go further, whose endurance is going to give out first, if anybody gives up.
Push comes to shove, right? I think everyone can agree this is going to be kind of a fast-paced matchup through and through,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
I believe it's fast-paced and very hard-hitting. I don't put nothing past Mason. I've sat back and I watched him a couple of times in action with my own eyes, and he is definitely not one to sleep on.
so I think the final question I have, and this one normally kind of sparks a little bit of a debate. When it comes down to you two, and obviously I think everyone's going to know the answer. I'm always kind of curious to see what the mind really says. Who do you think is going to come out on top?
Oh, go ahead, Mason.
For me, I always plan to come out on top, period. I don't go in no fight ever planning to lose. Why? Why enter the fight? I'm not going in the fight if I'm going to lose. My head ain't on no swivel. It's on straight. And when they say I'm locked in with somebody, I'm locked in. So yeah, I'm going for the win. And if you let me go for the win, you'd be a fool.
Nice. And that's exactly why I allowed you to go first and say that you thought that you were going to win, because that's exactly what I do. You should know that I'm very methodical and I'm very cerebral when it comes to my approach. And that's exactly what I wanted you to say. I want to go into this fight thinking that you're going to win, because that's going to make me push everything that I have in my body to make sure that you don't.
Well played, brother. Well played.
Playing chess, not checkers, my boy.
There you go. That's all I play. Good move.
So with that, gentlemen, any final comments for each other?
Look, for me, I got nothing but respect for Nasir. I look forward to this, and I hope he brings everything that he can. Because when you're going against self-built Mason Walls, I am that golden brick road that you're going to have to travel up, and it ain't easy to get through this. So like I said, much respect to my guy, but I'm going for the WIN. No offense.
I hear you, Mason. No offense taken. Just like you, when you're going up against the Hellcat hybrid, you got to be on your toes, because just like everybody else I've faced and everybody else who I've had these press conferences with, I had to bring it out of them. You really don't want no smoke. You just talk like you do.
Well, with that being said, gentlemen, I look forward to it. January 22nd, Marion Oaks Community Center, Ocala, Florida. Be there if you dare. I'll see you guys there. With that being said, get your tickets on Eventbrite. It's been posted on Facebook. You guys have probably seen the ad everywhere at this point. Snapchat's got it. Instagram's got it. Twitter's got it. It's everywhere. Probably have seen us if you live in Ocala going door to door at this point. So, with that being said, goodbye, everybody. Subscribe to the Urban Pro Wrestling channel. See you guys next time.